comment on the travel ban in the United States?
I think it's bull. I think it's absolute bull. I mean, our country is the country of the home of the land and home of the free. And for that to happen, I think it's bull. I mean, I'm not going to get into it too deeply, but personally, I think it's bull.
Any chance you want to try it again without swearing?
No, not at all. Y'all got to bleep that out. That's how I feel about it.
We get a lot of shots. Everybody come to the net. We just have to get more and more pucks to the net.
What were you saying about putting pucks on net?
Continue to put pucks on net.
Well, that's the key. We got to get the puck on net.
Pucks on net.
He's got that nick for the net too. He just throws puck on net.
It was nice to get pucks on net.
Pucks on net and driving and making it a hard night on him.
Live on tape from Geeta's apartment, her palatial estate on the 23rd floor. This is Pucks on Net, a Vancouver hockey podcast that doesn't talk about fantasy or fancy stats. We're going to try and not get too political or dark on this episode. I think it's a bit of a.
We're entering a little bit of the dark ages.
You mean the white ages?
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to start wearing home jerseys. You know, the whites are at home and the darks are on the road.
Yeah, so we'll put that on the back burner for a week or so, just because things are a little bleak and people are going to listen to this to escape and be positive.
A lot of our friends in the South are on waivers right now. Apparently, Trudeau's going to pick everybody up.
PMAC's not here this week. There's somebody else here with a mic, so we'll just, as we've been doing this year, we'll
go around the circle and introduce ourselves.
My name is Ryan. I had something clever to say, but I lost it, so I'll host it. And I'm still watching a lot of Girls on HBO.
My name is Geeta, and I shop at Safeway because I'm wealthy.
I'm Dave, and I think I can smell Lena Dunham through my TV, and it's not good. I don't watch Girls.
That's shaming of some capacity.
I'm sure it is.
Now, please introduce who
Shut
you
up,
are.
Odell Beckham.
You can't hear me. I was on a boat in Miami during my bye week.
Dave, do you want to introduce who's here?
To the camera left, because it's a podcast, to me is my sister Jennifer, who's joining us this week.
I'm Jen, and I'm the better-looking McPhail.
Welcome to our little podcast.
Now, is there a reason why you're on the show this week?
She literally had no place else to go.
I came over on a boat, and I had nowhere to sleep.
And so does Dave not trust you with the keys, or does he not trust you in his apartment, like alone for 90 minutes?
I actually don't trust his cats.
Oh, there's a lot of problems with his cats. They're a bit diva-esque.
Deviant?
They are deviant divas,
No,
yes.
I actually had a standoff with one trying to get to the bathroom in the middle of the night, so there may be some evil there.
Good kitty, very good kitty.
So, you just chime in when you need. If
they make me feel like Gozer at the house, Gozer the Gargarian, she had the two like wild animal dogs, the gatekeeper and the keymaster.
Sure.
So the cats are for me. That's for PMAC, who's not on the show. Little Ghostbusters mention.
Oh, okay.
That's just for him.
I had a Paul-related something, too.
What was that?
During yesterday's All-Star Game, they were playing the theme to Harry Potter. Only me and Paul would have caught it, and maybe other people.
And, yeah, you texted me and was like... Well,
immediately.
And I'm like, well, what is the theme of Harry Potter?
Ryan and I are the only two grown-ass men who don't watch Harry Potter movies.
No, there's nothing wrong with watching Harry Potter movies, but
there's a couple things wrong with watching Harry Potter movies.
What do you mean?
You better be at the movie theater with a kid.
No, you can like Harry Potter. I spent 6 hours yesterday watching wrestling, so I can't throw stones in my glass
Why
house.
can't you watch 12 Years a Slave like a normal adjusted person?
People like things they grew up with. You were just quoting Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I also grew up with Forrest Gump, so I learned about racism before everybody else did.
I traumatized my children by making them watch Harry Potter so that I could watch it.
I read Harry Potter like an allegory for the Holocaust or World War II.
Well, fair enough.
Thanks for on that being said, on that Holocaust Harry Potter moment, thanks for joining us wherever you got us from, wherever you downloaded your podcast from. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PucksonetCA or PucksonetCa. Thank you very much. Do you know about the cause, Jennifer? No. You just keep it in mind. There's some asshole that owns the Twitter handle just PucksOnNet, and so we have to put PucksOnNetCA because that's our website. And when you say it out loud, it looks like it reads Pucks on Net Ka. So we have to specify it. It's become a thing. It's kind of funny. I enjoy it.
And then
Geeta hates it.
And then the crow became our mascot.
Yeah, we got a crow, all that jazz.
Am I giving away the fact that I don't listen to my brother's podcast?
It's probably for the best.
Cool.
No,
I don't listen to the podcast either.
Yeah. There's actually there's a tradition on this show, like, because every year we do a Christmas party, and now 2 years in a row, Geeta, once we're all having a lot of fun, she goes around with the wireless mic, and literally everybody at the party, nobody listens to the podcast. Now, lots of people listen to the podcast, but none that we associate with.
They're just there for the crab cakes, which are fantastic.
But we love our listeners.
We do love our listeners, so that's why we're going to start asking you for money. Launching tonight is we were selling out to ourselves. It's the Pucks on Net Patreon page. We have Pucks on Net for that, so it's Pucks on Net or patreon.com/Pucks on Net. If you want to contribute to the show, we have a whole different levels of rewards. I found a place online that makes pucks. Like, you can get pucks printed, not like the sticker job I did. So for
And you can put them on net.
Exactly. So for your beer league, Dave, you're like, don't worry, guys, I got them. And you throw them out, and boom, then you're promoting them.
The other team's going to steal those. Everybody's always stealing pucks. It's like the game within a game during the warm-up in a beer league. It's like, oh, we only got 8 pucks in the bag. All right, better get some pucks tonight.
And speaking of people that did shit with pucks in the warm-up, Chris Pronger, who was a very big topic of conversation, so we'll get to him in a second. But yeah.
He's such a headache, man.
He is just making me dizzy with anger.
Yeah, me too. I can't focus on anything.
He's like a player Hall of Famer or whatever.
He is a player, coach, Hall of Fame, Justin Bieber beating up kind of guy. So yeah, patreon.com/pucksonnet. That comes tomorrow, and we'll talk about it more, but we'll talk about it at the end of the show.
Enough panhandling. Let's talk about the All-Star Game.
Okay. So as we know, this is the second year where they did 3-on-3 tournaments. All the divisions play each other. Last year, I spent the whole day watching it, and I thought it was fantastic. It was fast. It was exciting. And, of course, we had John Scott.
Yeah, okay.
This year didn't have John Scott.
Nope.
And it was the speed of a beer league game out there.
Then we didn't get Brandon Proust in it.
Yeah, well, we really kind of dropped the ball on our write-in candidates.
I wanted Frankie Corrado.
That's the only way he'd get ice time.
Yeah, no, he'd still get scratched. Babcock would show up. Not tonight, Frankie.
Listen, Frankie. I gotta win that $90,000. I gotta have you on the bench.
I need speed up the middle. I'm going with Little Kess. Little Kess is going in.
But I don't know if they were all hungover, if nobody wants to get hurt, but it was the slowest hockey I've ever seen.
You may have hit the nail on the head because it's not like, although it was in Nashville last year, and apparently Nashville is a hard town not to have fun in, from what I've heard. But,
okay.
Hollywood, man, it's in California. The boys are going to go out.
Snoop Dogg was playing the night before.
So they're probably hanging with him.
Gin and juice. Swearing. That's another great thing. There's a lot of great moments that happen at this All-Star Game, mainly swearing on national television.
Bo Horvat probably stayed out past 11 o'clock last night for the first time ever.
He had
to party with Nick Jonas?
Yeah.
Oh, is that who he was hanging out with?
The dynamic duo of Nick Jonas and Justin Bieber?
Do you think that Justin Bieber took the boys out for a rip?
I don't know what he did, but I'm starting to, based on his hockey abilities and his...
he's also a huge fanboy.
Of hockey?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. He stepped on the Chicago Blackhawks emblem in the dressing room, and everybody...
That was during his coked out, disrespectful peeing into a bucket.
Peeing in the bucket, yeah. But he actually... I think hating Justin Bieber is like hating Kanye West. Like, it's kind of over to do. Like, he's an artist. He makes music.
I still hate him.
Oh, who, Bieber?
Yeah. And he's not that good a hockey player. He would be an average player in a beer league at best. He's a celebrity that happens to not look completely unfortunate when he skates, but he looks awkward as hell.
He's Canadian.
Justin
He's from
Bieber could not hold
He's
a candle.
He's also 5'2". He was never going to play in the NHL.
If Justin Bieber was on Pucks on Net, he'd be the second best hockey player on the show.
Oh.
I'll challenge him right now. I could take him in a skating race for sure.
A skills tourney?
Easy. Anything. You name it, I'll beat the Biebs. He's not. No, seriously. He's not that good. And he wears a full cage.
I think it's kind of like...
He needs the face a lot more than you do.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, that face is insured, Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, you've been hit in the face like 3 times this weekend playing hockey.
Chicks dig scars. Remember that, kids. I got a great dentist. The dentist I got in White Rock, he gives me better teeth than the ones I knocked out. And I'm so well insured that, it's I get a day off work. I sit in the chair. I have a little sleep. They give me crowns. It's win-win.
Go back. But you're not going to wear a birdcage.
No, that's for pussies.
But But yeah, Justin Bieber played in he played in like the celebrity NHL alumni game
The
against.
Luke Robitaille Invitational.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Oh, it's cool.
Oh, okay.
But it's got current, former NHL employee, Arizona Coyotes injured reserve player, Hockey Hall of Fame.
It's a real hodgepodge.
It's a real blurred line,
and it's all for the
This is
speaking
just
of
his
blurred
resume.
lines. Speaking of blurred lines, it was done for a good cause. The charity was to buy Robin Thicke a new dad.
Oh, I was gonna make a joke about blurred lines because that's what
I
he
thought that
sees.
was. I assumed it was going to be Carl from Family Matters.
Why?
Oh, why not?
Blurred lines.
He's too busy making Die Hard 7, the return of.
Talk about being typecast.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of swearing on this during the skills competition. All other noted. The good thing about this being in LA is that people that are actually, celebrities and important actually came to it because, you got to fly me out to work on a hockey game in Columbus. They're not going to give a shit, and you're going to get Loverboy playing both periods.
The Redeem Verbata All-Star Game.
But Snoop Dogg is he's a big Ducks fan.
Okay.
And so, yeah, because I remember in the Stanley Cup Finals, Ray Emery tried to give him a Senators jersey.
That's right.
And he's like,
take it.
I'm a Ducks fan. And as we know, Snoop Dogg's been repping the Penguins since, the doggy style days.
But his kids are big Ducks fans. And during the Stanley Cup Finals, both times they were in the finals, Snoop Dogg was very present. That's when we learned about the weird celebrity friends pairing of Snoop Dogg and Tim Allen.
Really?
It's debatable who's done more cocaine.
Well, one of them got charged for it.
And it wasn't Snoop Dogg.
But speaking of Snoop Dogg,
To infinity and beyond.
this is Snoop Dogg DJing the intros of the skills competition.
Snoop Dogg! You know I'm out with the yeah. You know who's back up in this motherfucker. So raise the weight up there. Blow that shit up, nigga.
And they're like, all right, let's quickly introduce them.
How does that edit get by the people at the Kings? The Canucks would have been all over that.
It's Snoop Dogg.
There's no way that would have happened to us.
Tell me it cuts to Gary's face.
Oh my God. But it's like Geeta said, the one night the crowd is literally full of kids.
Yeah.
Crack the weed up.
But like, no, we one time we put the unedited version of Fetty Wap into the warm-up mix, and there were 20 emails before the game started.
In some of the few games that I DJ'd at the Giants, I remember you learn really quickly if you have the clean or the album version.
Yes.
And even the nicest of songs by nice Canadian bands like the Arkells got an F-bomb or two in them.
Oh yeah.
And then you just go awkward silence. You're ripping cables out. More F-bombs. This is something that came up. This isn't from the All-Star Game, but this is a clip of refs being mic'd up and it picking up on.
That was amazing.
And so this is a new one, and I think you might know what I'm playing.
Yeah.
But this just goes to show and furthers my point of how much I absolutely love NHL referees and how much they are the authority figures out there, and they are calling the shots. And this is, I'll just play this.
We'll send a man to the box. Predators will go back on the power play. Corner Chuck will send a man to the box. Predators will go back on the power.
Oops. Where'd it go? Did my thing just crash? Ah, jeez.
Oh no, you had to play the clean version of the clip and the dirty version. So to
Are you
provide
just
a little,
whistle that up?
So to provide a little bit of context of what happened there. So because the referees have to be like NFL football referees now, they have to announce all the penalties. And I guess when the referee was putting the Columbus player in the box, he did a flyby to argue the call. And unlike junior hockey, where they'll just tee you up, the NHL refs give you a pretty long leash.
Yeah.
Because they'll give it right back to you.
Right.
And in this case, the referee expressed his displeasure with the player's argument of the call right back, and it got picked up on the mic.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
You should try that in the White House now. That might work better.
Yeah.
It's in due time. I mean, in the Canadian Parliament, they got upset with...
an elbow.
No, with a fart.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
said fart, and I mean... It'll just
No, it was F-A-R-T.
Do you know what you just spelled out?
Fart.
Flatulence. I am a little unimpressed with how the Canadian, basically how CBC broadcasted the All-Star Game this year.
Okay.
Like,
Why?
if you think the players didn't give a shit, Jim Houston and Craig Simpson did basically like, Yep. That's another goal. And like I was like, boy, are the players and the broadcasters all drinking the night before?
Well, what do you want them to do? Call a goddamn horse race? Like, what do you want? And he comes down the ice in the 3-on-3 meaningless game.
I'm glad you say that because I started noticing this, and so I switched to NBC.
Right.
And Doc Emmerich and Pierre Maguire, who do a great job announcing.
Yeah.
It's almost like they were said, hey, why don't you try and make this interesting and sound exciting? And I started listening, and I went back and I got clips of both games, and I just want you to hear how the Canadian audience, who is a little apathetic, was watching hockey and hearing hockey compared to how the national American audience, who they're actually trying to grow the game to, how they a casual viewer is not going to give a shit about some. But they might watch the All-Star game.
But do you think that's why? Like, we're not trying to grow the game in Canada by having an All-Star game.
Yeah, but you're not doing it any favors by being like, well, this thing.
With the national.
It's like, well, this thing sucks. So
but aren't we a little too sophisticated for that?
Yeah, but let me just.
But not the average doofus.
I swear. I suppose. I mean. It's just
there's a lot of doofuses
so
out there.
watered down.
No, but I mean, there's one thing to be like.
It's not a game. It's 3-on-3.
But isn't that what you're supposed to learn in day one of journalism school? Try and seem like you're having fun.
Fake it till you make it.
Look, the alternative facts speak for themselves. The All-Star Game was great. It was great. It was the best ever. It was huge, okay? The alternative facts say there were more people watching the All-Star Game this year than any other year we've ever seen. It was great.
It was huge.
It was huge.
So this is 3 minutes in to the All-Star Game on the Canadian feed.
Try to bring the tempo up a little bit. They're not afraid to get their legs moving. And Laine, McKinnon, Ryan Suter on the ice for the Central Division. Here's a 2-on-1. And there's the first goal of the All-Star Games. Cam Fowler of the Ducks has it.
That doesn't sound that bored. That sounds like a regular hockey game.
Yeah, it sounds like a Minnesota-Vancouver game.
Goudreau feeds one in front. Score! Carter backhands one. They score!
We obviously have a lot of battles on the ice with.
I'm just saying, try and have a little emotion.
But that's Doc Emmerich, man. He's making hockey great again.
We're Canadian. We like authenticity.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was, all you did there? That was a Canadian broadcast, understated and dignified, versus an American broadcast, which is, it's NASCAR on ice. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's been thrown off the Hell in the Cell.
It was NASCAR. They were just going around and around and around.
I think we just agreed on something for the first time in our lives.
Look what you've done. You've united the McPhail family on the internet. Especially
it's going to live there forever.
Yeah. You make a valid point, and you know what? Everything I just exact opposite of what I was posing just came. It was true. So yeah, that's all my doing.
Jim Hewson is a class act. I'm not going to sit here and slag that guy. We'll never get him on the show. Although he's not in the Hockey Hall of Fame yet. We only have Hockey Hall of Fame announcing.
We have very strict rules on this podcast.
Hall of Famers only, or NHL draft choices only.
Oh, so we're getting Chris Pronger next week. Is that what you're saying?
Oh my God, I would love to have Chris Pronger on this show.
Former guest of the show, Brett Kulak, now taking a regular shift for the Calgary Flames.
Oh, good for him.
He did it. He made the show. I really didn't think he would.
It was all because of that advice we gave him on the podcast.
Yes, that's true. He was a good guest.
He actually.
We should get him back. He was good.
Hey, you guys, remember us?
Nope.
So you just said that you and your brother just agreed on something for the first time, and we also made this joke before that Don Cherry was right about something for he's right about a lot of things, but to the common passerby, he was right for the first time. He always avoided going to All-Star games because nobody gives a shit. They're just going out there to not get hurt. And they made him go to this one.
Maybe Houston was trying to protect his voice, Brian.
He's no spring chicken. He's in his 80s.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to work for another 7 days.
He's going to run for a prime rib roaster though next election.
I'd vote for that. He knows what he's doing.
People vote for anything these days.
Yeah.
Well, The Rock's going to be president in 2020. We know that.
Oh God.
So anyway, do you want to hear?
Oh, I thought you said Iraq.
Do you want to hear what Don Cherry said about the All-Star game?
Absolutely.
Of course.
All right, I'm going to edit this because I got to find this. I have a clip here.
So now look, we're all in a good mood.
I don't go to All-Star games. I played in the minor leagues a long time. So did Bruce Boudreau. We made $5,000 a year. We did our best. And Bruce said, a little more zing to this thing.
He said, what adjustments would you like to see? He said more effort.
And you know what, folks? These guys are making $90,000 if they win. Nothing to these guys. And I was wrong for the first time. I thought they'd really turn it on. Now, I'm supposed to come on here and say what a great game. They're not even trying. And that's the way I feel. They're not trying. You think for 3-on-3, and I went along with the 5-on-5 they didn't hit. They're not even trying. Subban fooling around with McDavid. I don't go for it.
Well, that's good, but you don't expect them to hit, do you, Don? I mean, Johnny Hockey was incredible.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to hit on 5-on-5. They can't hit on 3-on-3, but I expect a little effort.
There was no effort in that game. They puttered around like they were up till 6 o'clock in the morning the night before, and they're trying not to throw up.
That Donald J. Cherry, he's a jerk, but man, he tells it like it is.
Well, he was right.
He actually tells the truth, though.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. For all the other players, this is a week-long vacation.
Yeah. Ron McLean was pushing the alternative facts. Oh, but they're playing well. Johnny Gaudreau, he's great out there. The best.
Well, because in the second intermission, he interviewed Gary Bettman for the first time in probably 7 years, ever since that. No, it's been about 4 years, because before the Rogers monopoly, CBC would get these exclusive interviews with Gary Bettman. And Ron McLean, one of the better things about him was he would ask him hard, serious questions. And you'd watch Gary go, and blow smoke, and dance around the thing. And then that hasn't happened for years. And that happened at this one. And he started asking him right away about the Olympics. So that's why Ronnie was trying to, play nice. But for a kid that, for somebody that's tuned into hockey watching them for the first time, and for kids that paid good money to see, Connor McDavid play hockey and to just kind of fiddle around out there, you can see why Don Cherry was upset.
No, and yeah, it's also insulting to the guys who he was, pointing out the minor league guys who don't make that much money. $90,000 if you win that game, split, because they win the $1 million and they split it.
Okay.
That's as much as guys making the minors now for a whole salary.
Wow.
Yeah. For 1 day's work.
That's a good AHL yearly salary.
Yeah, so go out there and throw a little effort out there. We're not asking you to hit people, but give the crowd a good show.
Like I would
let people think you want to be there.
Like Bo Horvat only makes like $800,000 a year or something.
Drop in the bucket.
He got $212 bonus for the.
He's renting Geeta's closet here. He's $1,600 a month, not including utilities.
Now I don't want to throw Bo under the bus, but did the check clear? Because they didn't win the game; they lost. Does he do the dishes? Bo.
He takes the trash out when you tell him.
Okay, good man.
Bo trash. Oh, okay.
Okay, Geeta, I'll do it. Don't kick me out. If I get 20 goals this year, I get a bonus.
He needs it.
Then he's moving into the den.
Yeah. Upgrade, $1,800 a month. Couch privileges, no sheets included. You got to bring your own sheets. It's a tight rental market. He's tired of living in that bunk bed situation with Chris Tanev is getting old.
Oh yeah. The other thing that Don Cherry said at this Coach's Corner was that he liked Justin Bieber he was given some effort in the Luc Robitaille game. He also liked that he had a nice, good haircut, good Canadian kid, and he liked that he was back checking.
Don Cherry is an adorable grandpa.
Who was Bieber trying to impress? Selena Gomez.
Hey, you know what hockey is? No. Well, I'm going to be really good at it.
Yeah, okay, we'll see.
But I heard Chris Pronger on Sportsnet today, and he said that Bieber was trying to he was being a little rough out there with him, and so he's like, well, if he wants to play that way when he goes into the corner.
Yeah, Chris Pronger is one of the nastiest players in the history of the NHL. Now, I just hope that wasn't like the straw that broke the camel's back. Wouldn't it be just like Justin Bieber, the last thing that Chris Pronger tries to throw a hits self in glass, dies, then that ends up being the slow turn for Justin Bieber to singer-songwriter. I killed a man at Staples Center just to watch him die. It was really fun. I liked playing in the All-Star Game until Chris started leaking brain matter out of his ear.
This is the darkest podcast ever.
It's pretty dark.
We've had darker. We haven't mentioned the club yet. The other thing was Chris Pronger. It was concussion problems. He had the biggest helmet on I've ever seen in my life. It must have had it was like 2 inches thick around.
He got it from Lindros's closet. Was Eric there? I saw him.
Well, no, he couldn't show. He can't be within 10 meters of the ice surface without that helmet, and he lent it to Chris. So
I
he
think
couldn't be there.
I think Eric Lindros was playing in that Luke Robitaille thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But then Scott Stevens came down the stairs for the
God, he
NHL
got
100,
scared?
and he ran. He ran away.
up for that. Same with Paul Correa. Got one look at Scott Stevens, went nope.
Because of Scott Stevens, Paul Correa hates hockey now.
Well,
he just
fair
surfs. He lives in California. He doesn't want to talk about hockey.
He made $10 million a year for a long time, and $1 million a year for 1 year.
And he
remember that when they tried to stack the Colorado.
Oh, I got to apologize. Last week, I got to apologize to myself, to the podcast, and the listeners.
What did you do to us?
I mentioned the Colorado Avalanche, but I used all the syllables and all those, and I enunciated.
You pronounced it the traditional British way.
Yeah, so I would like.
I can't even do that. It's like talking about fancy stats on here.
I'd like
Colorado Avalanche.
Colorado Avalanche. Can you say Colorado Avalanche?
Colorado Avalanche.
No.
Limey Brits.
Yeah. Imperialist scum.
Did Paul Correa make the NHL 100? I didn't see.
No.
Well, it was really hard to see down that line of 100 people dropping pucks.
Did anybody sneak in there that didn't really belong? Did anybody just
His name is Duncan Keith.
Cliff Ronning would so get in on that.
You guys see my numbers in 92, 93?
They're announcing players Frank Mahovlich, Mike Modano, and Cliff Ronning. And then there's Ty. Yeah, Dad. Yeah.
Get him,
go,
Dad. That's my dad.
That's
He's
my
tough.
Dad. Who's your favorite player growing up?
Tough.
My dad. Didn't he retire when you were 4 years old? Yeah, but I saw the tapes
every night.
No one marked out. Jennifer's laughing because she knows the Ronnings quite well. Speaking of
when your 7-year-old says, "I think he really likes his dad a lot."
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, right, yeah.
But yeah, man, I've never seen anybody mark out harder for their old man. And now that we don't work for that team anymore, we could talk about it.
Oh, I'm loving watching that team die a slow death.
Yeah.
And
you think they're going to like playing in Quesnel when they move there eventually?
Hey, easy there.
You'll be off season tickets. You'll be there every night.
Yeah, you can take Dylan back into the house.
We miss Dylan.
Oh, it sounds
Dylan
like
was in the province this week.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going in the first 3 rounds.
I think he could go. He really improved this season.
He's a very nice young man. He played a lot of road hockey with my nephew, so I wish him all the best. And he pretended that our mother's cooking was acceptable at Thanksgiving, which is a challenge in itself.
What was the turkey a little dry? Lumpy potatoes?
I'm going to let the favorite child answer that question.
It was fantastic. It was great. Best Thanksgiving dinner ever.
Easy there, Donnie.
Yeah, sorry. The theme of the week is alternative facts.
The NHL 100 came out and they caused a hell of an uproar. And for those, I don't know if my mom's listening. The NHL 100 is the 100 best NHL players of the last 100 years.
101 with Cliff Ronning.
102 with Ty eventually.
Hey, he got drafted.
I am on the Rangers organization. Basically, there's 4 people that everybody got upset with and pissed off that they made this list of 100.
Like who?
Kane, Taves, and Duncan Keith made the list.
They should make the list. They're definitely in the top 100.
Now, the other people that made the list, now
they're probably going to win at least one more cup.
Okay.
I think they got one more. That's 4 Stanley Cups
and 3 Conn Smythes.
Yeah, wow. No, they're in. And how many? And a bucket load of Olympic medals.
Well,
what are people upset about?
Well, they just think that
because you're still playing, you shouldn't get in.
No, because Ovechkin got in.
Yager got in.
Yager's
like what, 4 or 5?
Yager's going to be in the NHL 200 with those robot hips he's got. He's going to be just fine. But they think that it was a little favoritism towards the NHL's favorite son, the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, but they're fantastic.
Well, that's true. The argument is Jonathan Taves hasn't put up the points,
but he's not that kind of player.
That's true.
Bob Gainey's considered to be one of the best players in the world too, and it's the same thing.
The argument could be made to not put Patrick Kane in there.
Messier gets in on leadership skills
and for partying abilities, which is how Pat Kane made it in.
Pat Kane forces his way into situations.
Yeah.
He does not wait for consent. He just puts himself where he wants.
I'm number 100. Thank you very much.
Pat Kane is above the law.
Yeah. You know you liked being, putting me on that list, even though I forced you to do it. You liked it.
That's
Mr.
a man
Bettman.
who takes initiative.
Yeah, he takes control of the situation, whether you like it or not.
When that cab driver doesn't give him his 20 cents and change back, he took care of the situation. And Duncan Keith, so you could make an argument for Kane to not be on account of being a shitbag and having a pretty colorful, away from the ice life.
Nothing sticks to him, man. You can't. Defenders, goaltenders, charges.
Teflon.
He's Teflon.
He's freaking Teflon.
And then you have Duncan Keith, who is he's had a couple brushes. I wouldn't even argue that I don't. In the depth of the
he's
chart
got brushes with this suspension law. That's not the same thing.
But is he of? I guess he's got 3 Stanley Cups,
Norris Trophy,
and he's got a Conn Smythe. And
okay.
And I was talking. I forget.
And 2 Olympic gold medals.
Well, we're doing NHL only because it's NHL player.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, he's still. For me, he's borderline, but it's like.
Is that a Hall of Fame career?
He's gonna play 10 more years. Maybe he's 31. He could play till he's 40. I think they're gonna win 1 or 2 more. I know you shouldn't put it on for provisional. Yeah, Duncan Keith, if he quit today, he'd make the Hall of Fame.
Because Kane and Taves aren't even 30 yet.
No, but if they both had horrible injuries, like tomorrow, they'd still make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Geeta just knocked on wood, so for any Chicago Blackhawks fans listening, you're welcome.
It's not like I said Tyler Seguin was going to get horribly injured, like his face was going to get disfigured. What did you say about him the other day? He's the best looking mistake in the NHL.
He's just my type.
Most likely player to f*** your sister.
the Billets sister.
The Billets sister, yeah. Tyler Seguin needs to live in the basement, and the rest of the kids are 2 floors up. You're moving your teenage daughter to the attic. He's got to go through 3 floors. There's pots and pans on the ground for him to trip on.
Now, here's my argument, because if Jonathan Taves is not that kind of player, but he has Stanley Cups, he's got Conn Smythe, there's somebody like. Why isn't a guy like Claude Lemieux in the NHL 100? He's got 4 Stanley Cups.
Never a captain, never a first-line player.
He's won a Conn Smythe.
Yeah, but he won it. He did win a Conn. Did he win a Conn Smythe?
95.
Mm.
Yeah, but he was never the feature guy. You want to know what the difference is? He was never the guy because, like in Colorado Avalanche, he had Joe Sakic, he had Patty Waugh, Rob Blake, Peter Forsberg. I could go on and on and on with that team.
And I can't believe he shook his friggin' hand.
In Montreal, he had Patty Waugh. He had Chris Chelios before the dope. In
New Jersey, he had Brodeur.
He had Brodeur and Stevens. So he was never the feature player.
Yeah, that's true.
So no, and also he caved Chris Draper's face in.
He's an asshole.
Was Eddie Shore on the list?
I don't know. I don't think I would. I don't think I saw him.
What about Dino Ciccarelli, everybody's favorite snub? 670 goals, never makes any lists.
The snub.
How about a Brad Richards?
Exactly.
Did Ron McLean get him on the list? That's the most uncomfortable man crush in the history of the
Somebody
NHL.
from Prince Edward Island needs to be in the NHL 100, and it's not Anne of Green Gables. So please put Brad Richards on the list.
Crosby made the list.
Crosby. Well, there's a couple snubs.
Okay.
So the snubs. Joe Thornton. Zdeno Chara, which I don't...
Wait,
Joe Thornton's...
But did Marlowe?
No.
Oh,
Joe
okay.
Thornton's never won anything in this league.
Yeah.
John Tortorella said so.
Jarome Iginla?
Never won anything. No cup, no...
But
no,
he's been he was a consistent
Yeah,
force.
but in Calgary.
You lived in Calgary too long, bud.
Well, listen, I got out of there. I'm clean. All
No
right?
one's
It's
getting...
off my out of my system.
No one's getting jiggy with that call. He also went chasing waterfalls for a while.
Gino Malkin didn't make the list.
He's close. I think when it's all said and done, he will.
Like on the 150.
Yeah, he's like that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Eddie the Eagle didn't make it.
Okay.
And Dale Howard-Chuck also didn't make it.
You got to draw the line somewhere. Howard-Chuck never won anything.
Well, then here, yeah, it's
for me. Belfour and Malkin. You could argue. You could probably. I could go either way.
Now, Joe Nieuwendyk made the list.
Really? Well,
Okay.
you know what? Conn Smythe Trophy, 3-time Stanley Cup winner.
I think is that the prerequisite to be the best in the NHL?
Joe Nieuwendyk, 500 goals, over 1,000 points, 3 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's on the list.
Mm-hmm.
He just did it like. You know who Joe Nieuwendyk was? He was a better Trevor Linden in every sense of the word.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He was Trevor Linden style player. He was a captain. He was an honest, straight shooting player, a good guy in the room.
Except his right hand's a lot heavier.
A lot heavier, and his shot's a lot heavier. But like I remember watching him. I hated like Jennifer and I. We were at every freaking game in the '90s. Like, and I mean every game. And we hated Calgary so much. Like we hated Fleury.
Well,
and we
they're a hateable
hated,
team.
Oh, they are very hateable. Fleury, Roberts, Ronnie Stern, Mike Vernon. But like I could never. I'm like, and Nieuwendyk was their leader. But I was like, I remember talking to my dad about that when I was a kid. I'm like, but he goes, it's okay. You can quietly, low key, like Joe Nieuwendyk's good guy. He's a good guy. You look up to.
He's not like Joel Otto, who was very easy to hate.
But he even looked like Trevor Linden.
Was he the guy that scored when he punched me in the mouth by accident?
No, that was Martin Jelena.
Wait, what's this? What's this story?
It's that 2003.
No, so Jennifer and I were at the 2004 Game 7 together between Calgary and Vancouver. It was me, Jennifer, and her husband. And it was when I punched her in the ear when Matt Cook scored the tying goal with like 5 seconds left. So then for the overtime, for the rest of the night in the overtime, she literally had like one ear ringing.
He almost ripped it off my head.
Oh,
it was actually bleeding.
I was very excited.
Sorry, that's why I thought it was in the wrong decade. I hit hard in the head.
Yeah,
I was like 13 years ago.
She was very concussed.
You're gonna give your sister cauliflower ears because of Matt Cook?
The best part was the guy sitting in front of us throwing that jersey on the ice. That was the best part. It led to the goal.
But that's when we were sitting by Richard Loney. That was a big moment for us.
That was the Prospects game when we were sitting with the late Richard Loney and he hit on you.
Yeah.
That was also pretty funny.
Yeah.
What was he, like 100 at the time?
That's quite.
He's a very
I don't know. He looked exactly the same as when he was singing that anthem.
He was spry, but he sat. So Jennifer and I were at the Prospects game. We were at the Brule Prospects game.
Oh yeah, the Crosby list.
How did we end up? Why were the two of us there?
I don't know.
Why are the two of you going to so much hockey together?
It's what we got. It's the thing that we do.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a thing.
That's when we get along. It's like Disneyland hockey game.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, yeah, that's pretty.
And the boat.
Right.
3 places.
Yeah.
And the internet when we bully our redneck relatives about their political affiliations.
Yeah, I Jennifer
and
see that
we
too.
do like to tag team the lesser informed members of our family who live in Detroit.
I saw a guy walking down the street today, unironically wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat. So, the one thing I don't like about these best hockey player lists are like, you know, when Rolling Stone puts out the best 100 albums and it's just nitpicking. It's like, how could Exile on Main Street be number 3 and Sgt. Pepper's number 2 and this, that, and it's just like, listen, they're all good. It's just splitting hairs. Who gives a shit? Everybody's good at hockey. And in the end, Sgt. Pepper's
Who
would
was
be number one.
Just out of curiosity.
Cliff Ronning.
Write-in vote. Ty Ronning voted his dad in 10,000 times.
But what do you actually get for being on this list?
You get a very classy portrait
of yourself.
And they had blazers with the NHL 100 patch on them. So that's got to be at least $60. I'm sure they got a deal at Moore's or something.
So it's like the hockey equivalent of the green jacket, or like, what are you doing here?
Green jacket, gold jacket, who gives a shit?
I don't know.
They've given 100 of them away.
Yeah, that's 100 jackets. There's this Gordie Howe's like gravesite with a jacket on it. Here you go.
Oh, they just lay it over top. Eddie Shore's ghost would sell it, or he would repurpose the fabric because he was the cheapest man alive.
Cliff Ronning just bought a black blazer and then he bought the patch. Hey, you guys, see this?
Counterfeit.
My son made it for me.
I don't know. I love this Ronning sledding.
I just remember when they were sitting in PMAC's seat in the press box before that hockey game.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
so funny.
They moved me
because all that's right between me and PMAC in the press box at the Canuck games is just a wall, which is kind of fun because we can like kind of communicate by sticking our heads out.
You're like Mexico and Texas.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, ¿qué pasó? But yeah, no, PMAC. I was at my booth a little early to build yet another Overweighty Foods graphic because we need more of those. Pattison doesn't have enough money.
Smart.
Yeah, I'm sitting there building it, and I look over, and the Ronnings are having dinner in PMAC's seat. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll time this right. So I don't know where Paul was. I think he was getting a quote or something. He was late. And but I went over there and I was like, "Hey guys," and like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?"
Because I used to
work for Cliff like as a kid, when I was like the Cliff Ronning Hockey School.
Okay.
And Ty, obviously from the Giants. He knows us by sight at least.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you work here too?" And I'm like, "Yeah. I'm just sucking down $1 anywhere I can."
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, amen to that, brother.
Free meal, dude.
Buy me a stick. Buy a stick off me. I'm selling hockey sticks now."
Base.com.
No, he did give me the big spiel. Every time I've bumped into Cliff Ronning in the last 5 years, it's been base sticks.
So how
Where
are
can
these?
I get them?
There, you can get them.
No! Don't tell her. That's what he wants you to say to her.
It's a local. I'm supporting local business in Ty's retirement fund because I don't think he's going to ever make the New York Rangers. You can get them in the pro shop at 8 Rinks.
Oh, okay.
They are really cool.
Cool.
But they are like $1,000.
Well, your nephew's birthday's next week. So.
No, donate money to us.
Guaranteed to get yourself a spot on the South Carolina Stingrays, the ECHL affiliate of the New York Rangers, or your money back.
Speaking of tiny tiny hockey players that aren't making the NHL, Jordan Subban got called up for 20 minutes and he practiced with the team.
But did he play?
No, Rudy's dad wouldn't find that acceptable. You're not a Notre Dame player till you step on the field, bud.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I took a warm up.
He took warmies in the at the United Center.
Yeah, which is
and miraculously didn't get shot.
It's a war zone.
Oh man!
I thought he'd go by the way of Rodin. Well, that's better for his pride, I suppose.
Anton Rodin. Oh, like get dressed but not play?
Yeah.
Oh, Willie loves that move. It's called the Desjardins.
Yerky21 asks, setting the over-under at maybe, over or under on whether Jordan Subban is Canuck property after the deadline.
Ooh. I could see them trading him.
Because he's somebody that they don't seem to really like that much.
But could be an NHL talent.
And he's got that Hunter Shinkarik name value to it.
So if they don't let him play, you can trade him based on the name.
I'm gonna go under.
You think that he'll be traded?
Yeah.
I kind of think so too.
He's a nice throw-in to sweeten the deal.
He is. Because they'll go, oh, they got this and Jordan Subban.
He's a name and also depth defenseman. Like there's value to that. A top 4 AHL defenseman is worth a lot more than a top 6 AHL forward. A lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you only have so many defensemen, and you can. Canucks have shown it time and time again. You can get down to number 10 or 11 on your depth chart, be playing in your lineup on Hockey Night in Canada. Pretty right quick.
Yeah.
A long road trip and a couple of unfortunately blocked shots. And Jordan Subban's running your fucking power play.
Oh,
God, Padan went down. Oh, no. Jordan, you got to get the 5-on-3 going there, bud.
He's just sitting there wheeling power play.
I'm PK's brother. Boom. Spinorama turnover.
Now, he's a legit 5'7" from what we talked about last week. He's tiny.
He's lifting at 5'7". He's a Tom Cruise 5'7".
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Without the weird Scientology. But with the weird family.
But why would the Canucks be trading him at the deadline? Because
the Canucks are going to the playoffs. I mean, oops, knock on wood.
We're going shopping at the deadline. Shopping.
What are they going to get? A nice top 6 guy?
Yeah, we're going to get rid of some prospects. We're going to trade some prospects. We're going to get some new players. Some new old players. I think Derek Roy's available again.
Oh, so we're going consignment shopping.
Yes. Someone else's, one team's junk is another team's top 6 forward, Geeta. Everybody knows that.
We'll get a Rutu or a Tutu.
A Rutu, a Tutu, a 6-goal a season Iginla.
All we'll give up is a first and a third and Jordan.
The Colorado Avalanche are having a fire sale. The Canucks. That's a garbage dump. That it's worth a good pick.
We've just revived Alex Tanguay's career.
Let's go binning in Denver for some help at the deadline.
You mean a Benning in Denver?
I think we got the title of this week's episode.
Benning in Denver. There's the Instagram video too, right there.
Man. I got $50 worth of soda cans and Jarome Iginla. What'd you get? Well, I found a Matt Duchene. Shit.
Now,
goddamn Ray Sherrill, always finding the good stuff. It's gonna be all these GMs. They're all like a bunch of homeless people looking through the Colorado Avalanche.
Max Talbot's still on the contract. That's who the Canucks would trade for.
It's got some dried pizza on it.
Well, we really thought we needed some bottom 6 grit, and that's where Max Talbot. We brought him back into the NHL, and he's gonna now. All the talk before the All-Star break was if the Canucks have any chance of making the playoffs, they got to beat Colorado on one night, and they got to beat Arizona the next night. They beat the Colorado Avalanche. And Sven Baertschi looked like he's going to be on that NHL 150 list. He looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go into Arizona, and they set a record.
They put up a donut.
They set a
no shots in the first period. Not a one.
You want to ask yourself, since they kept stats, I'm stealing this from Ryan Beach, by the way, so it's an amazing stat I heard this morning. 28 minutes they played in NHL hockey without a shot. On
Half
goal.
the game. Half the game.
Half a fucking game.
At the most intimidating barn to play at in the NHL, the Gila River Entertainment Center.
Which from here on out, it's the Geeta River Arena.
It's between
Canada and Mexico.
Like exits like 104 and 105 just off the highway.
I've been there.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
You get a ticket, a beer, a hot dog, popcorn, and peanuts for $8, and the parking is free.
For $16, you can get 8,000 shares in the team. You can literally tell Shane Doan where to stand on the power play.
Well, you know things are bad in Arizona when Shane Doan's ready to believe that no trade clause.
Is he coming to Vancouver?
They're gonna once they're done bidding in Colorado, they're going down to Phoenix.
That's gonna be a very major league situation. Cue soundbite when the Canucks could have had him 2 years ago. Should have had him 2 years ago. We did.
We didn't have a Jordan Subban to trade for Shane Doan at that time.
He was an all-star at Boston, wasn't he?
Yeah, wound up in the Mexican League. Had some problems with his knees.
We had him 2 years ago.
We did.
4 years ago, then.
You know he didn't play in a game, so it doesn't count. But I've got my Canucks all-brother power play Hall of Fame class of Fedorov, Steve Correa, Sean Pronger, and Jordan Subban.
Is there any more?
I don't know. We've had like every Sutter that's ever played.
We had Jamie Linden's brother on the team.
Yeah, and Valerie Bure's brother Pavel, who was pretty decent.
Who made the NHL?
And we had Russ Courtnell, who was Jeff Courtnell's brother.
But we also had Jeff,
who was Russ's brother.
And we had Daniel, who was Henrik's brother.
And we had Rich, who was Ron's brother, and we had Brandon, who's somebody's nephew.
So we could put a good team together of reject. You know, the bad people at the family reunion. They all play for the Canucks.
And over here we have Ivan Drago's son, Nikita Trampkin.
I love watching him hit. The Canucks are now filming him with like really slow motion cameras, and like they're putting these hits on Instagram on Twitter with like epic like battle music, and he's just rubbing them out, and they're like being hit so hard they lose their helmet. It goes flying.
There's a lot of talk about Bo Horvat being the savior of this team, and Troy Stetcher being the savior of this team, and Brock Besser and Thatcher Demko, and the future for the Vancouver Canucks, and even I'll admit it, being a pessimist, looks extremely bright.
That's a lot of saviors. The Bible only had the one.
Yes, and that's why I think that the savior, the Jesus, the misunderstood outsider who's come in and revived the market, is Nikita Trampkin.
Yeah.
Nikita Trampkin might be the best thing that's happened to the Canucks since Brian Burke convinced the Atlanta Thrashers to be the Atlanta Thrashers and not take a Sedin. He's not like, we are giving him some attention, but nationally he's not getting any. And this guy gets better every single time he gets on the ice for the Canucks.
Yeah, he literally skates on water.
Let's just hope that he does.
That's just in Chicago where the ice is really bad.
Yeah.
So that's
but like I'm serious though. I think that it's going to be one of those things. Let's just hope they don't Milbury it and trade Chara before we learn how to skate.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I think that they have a guy who's going to develop into a Norris Trophy player with this guy. He's got every tool in the bag. He skates well, he hits, he fights. I've seen him eat 3 breakfasts in one sitting at Fat Deli and crush 2 Coronas like it was nothing.
He's drinking beer for breakfast. He's my kind of hockey player.
That was before they put him on the program.
Now he drinks vodka sodas.
It's odorless. You can't tell. But like seriously though, like what a start for the year where he couldn't get into the lineup, and we were talking about. I think it was even me on the show going, don't be an asshole. Take the demotion to Utica, because they kept trying to send him to the minors and he refused. So go back to Russia and make $1 billion.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He said no.
He stuck with it and proved everybody wrong. And I think he's the future. He's Jesus.
And he's great. And you know, he's slow. Like what it's going to take is another Saturday night game against the Leafs where one of those little pipsqueaks just, collides into him in the outrage, and everyone's going to realize just how good he is, or in this case, how big he is. I think that's about it. The last thing I wanted to talk about this week, because we are wrapping up, was we all remember last season before, when Thomas Hertl scored 4 goals. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The big 4-goal controversy.
Right.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Hurdle. He retired Marty Buron.
It was
night.
during our first season.
Yes, and here in Vancouver, Joe Thornton told the media off the record to give him a break, and he said, if I scored 4 goals, I'd have my cock out, stroking it. And there was a
Great
outrage.
quote.
Great quote. I mean, if you're scoring 4 goals. Anyway, so only one. There was a whole controversy. We don't need to go into that. Everything knows about it. Anyway.
Yeah, we said penis a lot.
Yeah.
Penis.
Patrick Marleau scored 4 goals in a period, which is the first time that's happened since 1997 when Mario Lemieux did it.
Okay.
So Patrick Marleau did it, and then the Sharks got on Twitter. Logan Couture tweeted, "Stroke it, Patty." Hashtag PM12. Brent Burns goes, "Big win, and what a night for Patty Beast Marleau." Hashtag Year of the Rooster and 4 rooster emojis. And then Patrick Marleau.
Mrs.
Marleau tweets. She quoted that tweet and then goes, "When he called home, I answered with, 'Congrats on your dick trick.' Appropriate? Probably not. 4 rooster emoji.
4 cocks.
4 cocks." So I really liked how the Sharks handled that.
No, they.
You're getting really caught up in Coyote Ugly here.
It's the movie of our time.
Does it take you back to your bartending days when you had to dump a bucket of ice on people to calm down?
On the old ladies at the golf course, yeah, who just kept trying to put their hands in my pocket.
No.
Until one became your wife? Oh, no, wait.
Fair enough.
Holy shit.
That is where I met Mrs. Dave. But it's not where our parents met, which is the namesake of Ryan's T-shirt.
That's the number 5. Not only for Patreon money, are we looking for sponsorship money? The number 5 orange.
Number 5 orange. This sleaziest place on earth.
Yeah, don't have coffee there either.
Still my favorite thing about you, Geeta, is that you ordered coffee in the middle of the day at a strip club.
Well, I think I'm going to have a sober January. Are you really? No.
And it wasn't that good.
No, there were grains in it. Like grounds.
We've talked about this before, but that's probably the first cup of coffee they've ever made at that place.
No. There was I think a recovering alcoholic that had one, and it was in those, and he kept leaving. I think he was selling drugs outside, so he would come and drink his coffee and leave, and then come back and drink his coffee.
Well, he's running a business. You got to stay alert.
He's a couple other questions.
Good place to sell drugs, too, right across the street from the police station.
Nobody would ever suspect it. It's the perfect crime. A couple of questions to wrap it up here. Brian McGee asks, does Wayne Gretzky get back into coaching now that he's gotten a chance to coach a winning, talented
He's
team?
got that taste for it again.
He's going to do what they didn't do when he was a player. He's going to go out on top.
Smart man.
He won the $1 million game. It's like the XFL, one and done.
Oh, I got to tell you this. There's a 30 for 30 this week, XFL.
Yeah.
And I listened. It's Dick Ebersol's son did it.
Oh, it's going to be good.
It's going to be fantastic.
Even Vince has been pumping it.
Vince is in it, and he gave it the green light.
The XFL was the greatest and worst thing that happened in our childhood in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Well, he hate me, baby.
He hate me, man. We all know who that guy is.
Islanders are homeless right now after next season.
So they're going to relocate, or are they going to Harlem Globetrotters it and be a touring team?
I wouldn't.
But they're moving to L.A.
Yeah, everybody's moving.
Yeah.
We already talked about this. Everybody moves to L.A. All the teams move to Los Angeles.
Or they could move to Phoenix, where there's like 18,000 seat arenas within a stone's throw.
Yeah, they're building rinks all over the place.
Or the Videotron Center is just up the road.
Yeah, they can hang New York Islanders banners in Quebec City.
They would just be in French and have fleur-de-lis on them.
Yeah, that's right. But no, I've heard. I looked into this a little bit just before we went on the air. They're talking about. Because Jay-Z bought the rink he brought the rink in Uniondale, actually. He owns part of the Nets, but he doesn't own the Barclays Center. He owns the other one.
Okay.
And they're renovating it, so they might just go back to Long Island.
Really?
And go into the old Nassau Memorial Coliseum, now called the Giga Dome.
It's built on a blueprint?
Yeah, and the roof looks like Beyonce's ass.
Oh!
It's like a little indentation.
You can see it from space.
Yeah, badunk-a-dunk.
So they'll go there. They'll play at the Beyonce Gigadome. I think that's about it. Oh, Mike from Game Time Decision, he asked, was this the worst Royal Rumble match ever? And that's a wrestling question. That goes to me. It's the third worst. The worst was 1999. Non-hockey related question, but I figured I'd
I can
answer.
almost feel PMAC's eyes rolling in the back of his
Well,
head right now.
we just went silent.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like if you want to ask us questions, we go off the board here.
What's worse?
I thought this was a classy podcast.
What's worse, being a Trump
we
supporter?
typically devolve.
Being a Trump supporter or a wrestling fan?
What's the difference?
They're the same.
What's the difference?
I'm not happy with what I did yesterday.
Hey, wasn't he in one of the Royal Rumble matches?
He was in.
Those are the guys getting ready for the Daytona 500.
Donald Trump.
3 weeks out.
Donald Trump has a very long, tenuous history in regards to WWE. He's in their Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's good at bullshit.
Yeah.
Huge
Wrestling's
Hall of Fame.
fake,
Best,
and so is him.
Best
So is he.
Best Hall of Fame ever.
Best ever. So that'll wrap it up for this week's podcast.
Right.
We're opening the Patreon page, so there'll be pucks, there'll be new T-shirts which I got to design, and if you spend $100, if you give us $100 a month, you get an invite to the next Pucks on that Christmas party.
Well, you're just going to be around a bunch of people that haven't heard the show before.
Exactly. And then what do we all have in common?
And you'll get to meet Adam Kennedy.
Yeah, he'll be there.
He's funny.
And disgruntled former employee Sheila.
She's there drinking right out of the bottle.
Maybe you can get Tyroning to come.
Only if his dad lets him.
Cliff doesn't have $100 a month to give us.
He's all tied up in base hockey sticks. I got 25,000 of these in my garage.
I can't move these.
He's like, the Cardinals lost their money on that golf course. I got no one to hit up anymore. No one's got any cash.
Trevor's met Lyndon text new number, who dis, new phone.
No, Lyndon's the only one with any money.
New phone.
So check.
Isn't Bure at the Kremlin now? Isn't he working for the government or something? No, he's doing that Legends Hockey League.
Yeah, and he's working on head of espionage for federal.
So
the election.
He's Secretary of State in the U.S. now.
Pavel Bure.
I heard they have an opening.
Oh. So yeah, head on over to the Patreon page. I think it starts at $5, and then there's it goes up from there. But there is some good stuff. There'll be donor only content. We'll watch Mighty Ducks or something for real this time.
You can do a ride along with me while I do errands.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
Come grocery shopping with Dave on a Saturday.
You do need to provide transportation because Dave does not have a car.
That's true.
He doesn't drive either. He just doesn't want to. So
I just don't want to.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to tell a girl that.
You
Just
should walk
show
away from that topic. That's a contentious topic.
About Dave driving?
No, it's not anymore. Now
some people don't want to drive.
Now I own it. It's a thing. It's
See, now you're just cool.
And now I'm green. I'm carbon fucking neutral.
He's green with money because he doesn't have to spend money on insurance in this city, right?
But I take my paycheck and I flush it down the toilet on rent, just like everybody else in this town.
Your toilet flushes?
Yes.
Wow,
That's impressive. Bo's moving
I've
in.
heard some things about what's happening to your house, and I'm very sorry.
There's actually no water today because of pipe burst.
Ew.
There was water and there was no hot water.
Yeah.
And then I went to do the dishes. And
They're not trying to run evict you. They're just hoping the building falls down around you.
Listen, that's like...
But that's all of South Granville.
80% true right
now.
I actually... I had to get up. I had to take a shower last week, and I got up at 7.
So, like, what angle does Michael have to hold the bucket?
It's every morning. It's like an ice bucket challenge.
So why don't you heat it on the stove?
Because that's really hot. Because
is this like the real hipsters
and then you
of
mix
Vancouver,
it with gold.
I wish.
He's got my square footage, but none of the frills like running water.
So you go to the swimming pool for a shower.
Yeah. No, not in the. I go into the actual pool with my shampoo.
He does the horse bath in the sink. Top and tails.
I do love the term horse bath.
Oh, that's why all those people are showering at Club 16.
Yes.
They're all from South Granville.
Yeah, we don't have running water.
They're paying $2,000 a month for
Just go to the well.
For a shanty. Well, let's wrap this puppy up because I'm tired and I want to go home and play video games.
Yeah.
So check out Patreon. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and rate and review the podcast on iTunes. If you're not going to give us any money because you got beef with us or you don't think we'll spend it,
you pay rent in Vancouver.
Yeah, so if you live in South Granville and you have no running water and you're $2,000 a month rent, just rate and review it on iTunes. It's the best way you can do it.
Property value owners in the valley. We want your money.
Yeah, we're looking for that big money.
You assholes who got like houses in Langley, give us some cash. Can't take it with you.
My friend Sam, who was on the Christmas episode, she was really pushing me to start the Patreon page.
Sorry, who was?
Sam Anderson.
Oh, she better be donating.
She lives in like a 35 square foot apartment in Gastown. I don't think she has any anyway.
Oh, she's in a micropod?
Not quite a micropod. It's a studio.
How many roommates?
Tiny. 6.
Oh, okay, cool.
Good Wi-Fi. Anyway, she suggested that
full bars.
She suggested that we take glamour shots of each of us, and then it's like for an amount of money they can donate, they can get a random photo of us, but like for $1 more, they could get a specific one.
Oh, like the election was doing. I'll send you a boob shot.
Someone's gonna use me and Geeta's photos for prison letters. You know that's gonna happen.
But like some sort of like
you. Plenty of fish profile.
Oh God.
We could take a photo of you with the stars background, like in elementary school, or the library with leather-bound books.
The fake books.
Just thinking.
Oh, you want me to hold a fake roses?
Mm-hmm.
And a diploma.
Anyway, they didn't.
I think
they're just graduation photos.
Didn't you do yours with your trumpet?
No.
I might have.
Wait, what grade?
Oh, all the way through.
Really?
Every
trumpet pride.
No, grade 12.
Oh.
It was my date.
Oh
no, it wasn't.
She cried a lot in her locker.
If you want to see embarrassing, you should see in my.
You know what's sexy? Big band jazz.
My grade, well, you see my grade 12 photo where I would grow my hair out because I wanted to be rock and roll, but I couldn't grow it out all the way because I worked at a grocery store and they'd tell me to cut it, and so I would grow it to about my ears, and then it would start to wing out, and I had very majestic kind of like Farrah Fawcett-y hair.
You had to keep that hair short for that big career at Bilo Foods.
Extra Foods, mister.
Oh man.
I only got mistaken for a woman there like 6 or 7 times.
High school Ryan looked like a really nice lesbo.
Late bloomer. Just listen to episode 1 of the podcast. Late bloomer, wet behind the ears.
Oh, I love that. That's still Uncle Dan.
So yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter at PucksNetCA or PucksNetCa. And any closing remarks? Anything you want to add in?
It was so nice to have you, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime.
She's already got a better attitude than disgruntled former employee Sheila.
I'm just kind of wondering what suburb of Los Angeles the New York Islanders are about
Bakersfield.
to move to. Bakersfield? They got a rink in Bakersfield.
They're gonna play where Chivas plays.
Chivas Regal USA.
That's
the
where
Home Depot Center.
Yeah, that's where the LA Rams play, and now the New York Islanders of Los Angeles.
Hey, if Trump is sealing up the border, who are those guys who are gonna hang out in front of the Home Depot Center? There's gonna be nobody there.
Move, you know.